Hello, my name is Michael City. I am from Omaha, Nebraska. I go to Rutgers University and I'm studying data analytics.
Good morning, my name is Amia Daniel, a third-year Doctor of Pharmacy candidate attending Florida A&M University from Woodbury, Minnesota.
I'm Austin Terrell Parker, a second-year physics and mechanical engineering student from Cary, North Carolina, attending North Carolina University.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Abria Smith from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a third-year kinesiology major, communications minor, attending Hampton University. Today, my group and I will talk to you about ransomware and cybersecurity. Ransomware is when a bad actor intends to steal a user's data, and in order for that user to retrieve that data, they must pay a ransom or a large payout. Most healthcare systems use cybersecurity, also known to be a safeguard, to prevent ransomware attacks daily. As of 2018, according to Cybersecurity Ventures, every 11 seconds there's a ransomware attack taking place. Since then, there has been a 20% increase in comparison to the 2019 prediction of every 14 seconds. So before we get into all that we have for you today, if you glance down at the sheet in front of you, we thought enough of you to provide you with your own ransomware dictionary. Those 6 words are a few words that we will use throughout our presentation that we thought it was essential for you all to know. The first word you see is social engineering. I know more than half of us have experienced social engineering because you probably received a link on your way into this building today. Social engineering is the art of manipulating one to share sensitive information through digital connections. The second word you see is phishing. Phishing is a type of social engineering, but specifically it is the impersonation of a reliable email source to persuade one to share personal information. The next word you see is bad actors. Most of us know them as hackers, but bad actors is a better term.
I'd like you to think of ransomware as a virus and cybersecurity as your immune system. And as we all know, the weaker your immune system, the easier it is to get sick. So say you shake someone's hand who's sick, but you don't know that they're sick. Now you have the virus on your hand. Wipe your eyes, wipe your nose, and now the virus is in your body. And like a virus, it uses your own cells to replicate and spread. So now you're going around shaking other people's hands, who are going around shaking other people's hands. And soon enough, you spread the virus to all your friends and family. This is how ransomware works. Bad actors use a method known as social engineering, the most common form of which are these phishing scams. So emails you may open with bad links, or you may click on a bad advertisement. And now the virus is in your computer, or say the laptop of a hospital employee. Now these bad actors have the ability to send emails to other employees, trying to get them to click on the same bad links that you did. But the virus is already in your system, and now it's looking for a deeper way in. Over time, these bad actors gain access to more information, granting themselves remote access to systems, installing malicious software, and making changes until they've infiltrated deep enough to make their final play. Now they have access to the electronic health record, the EHR, medication orders, administrative files, and everything else required to make a hospital run. With the ability to control and hold this data for ransom, a bad actor can effectively shut down hospital operations, which endangers patients' lives. So what are you going to do as the CEO of a hospital? You're going to pay whatever it takes to get that data back as quickly as possible. And for the large-scale hospitals, this payout comes in the sum of millions and millions of dollars. So we'd like to put this in perspective for you with a real-world example. This is Anthem Incorporated, an insurance company under the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association. Approximately 98,000 employees, $137 billion in revenue as of 2021. Well, in 2015, Anthem became the victim of the largest cybersecurity attack in history. Hackers, or these bad actors, were able to steal over 79 million patient records, including employee and patient information. Everything from insurance info to social security numbers. In the end, this attack cost Anthem $115 million. And how were the hackers able to accomplish this? Just like 75% of ransomware attacks, someone opened an email, and the contents of that email allowed the bad actors to install malicious software on the user's computer. And from there, they were able to spread laterally across Anthem's systems until they had stolen all the information they had gone looking for.
Protecting patient information is important for a number of reasons. One of the biggest reasons is because ransomware attacks can be detrimental to healthcare providers from a financial standpoint. According to the American Health Association, stolen health records go for almost 10 times more than stolen credit card numbers on the black market, which shows the immense value that it has. Also, as shown with the Anthem example, it costs almost 3 times more to resolve a breach of data in healthcare compared to other industries. It is also very important to protect patient information because of the patient-provider relationship. Patients are putting their lives in the hands of these healthcare providers, and losing their information is an easy way to breach that trust and really damage the relationship. Lastly, it is very important to protect patient information because of the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, also known as HIPAA. HIPAA is the national standard that is used to protect patients' information from being disclosed without their knowledge or consent. The main goal of this is to not only make sure that patients' information is protected, but also that it can flow easily when needed. There are 18 main identifiers of the HIPAA Act that include things like prescription information, test results, also things like gender, ethnicity, and basically anything that allows for an individual to be identified. To comply with HIPAA laws, healthcare providers must make sure that they are doing their best to keep patients' information confidential, that they're doing their best to defend against malware attacks, and also that they are training employees properly to know when they're being targeted by ransomware attacks.
The complexity, intensity, and frequency of ransomware and cybersecurity attacks decreases each day. And it's important to know that all of our national and community health providers are at risk from these cyber attacks. And the importance of this is that protecting our data is not only essential to ensuring our patient trust, but ensuring our patient's health. The sad truth about ransomware is that these attacks are not just another financial convenience. The reality is that these have negative, tangible effects on our patients' health outcomes, especially for critical access care facilities and safety net hospitals. Pictured here is Spring Hill Medical Center, which in 2019 experienced a ransomware attack that disabled critical health monitoring systems, including their fetal monitoring system. Now, in their maternal world, Tehrani Kid, an expecting mother, had came to deliver her baby. Yet, without their fetal monitoring systems, doctors and physicians were unable to divulge critical information about the nuchal cord strangling her baby. And while delivering, the complications from her nuchal cord caused her child to die 9 months later. This is the importance of this. Ransomware attacks are not just attacks on our finances. They're not just attacks on our systems. They're attacks on our patients. And the structural side can become homicide. Losing a mother's child, losing a brother's sister, and losing a father or a son.
Let's take a look into cost and perspective of 2021. In many situations, money is always top priority. As humans, we have instinct to ask, what about the money? What was the highest ransom demanded? In 2021, 37% of businesses were hit by ransomware attacks, leading to the largest ransom demanded in 2021 being $50 million. The total cost of ransomware in 2021 for businesses was $20 billion, leading to the mean cost of recovering from ransomware $1.85 million, which led to only 65% of those victims' data being recovered. So after getting to the cost and perspective, let's see how we can make a difference.
So now that we understand how ransomware works, the question becomes, how do we stop it? Well, the truth is, you can't stop ransomware attacks. You can't stop cyber attacks in general. Some people do this for fun, while other people are being paid a salary to try and access your data all day long. People are always going to find a way in. So the best way to protect a health system's data is to identify and stop these attacks in progress before they can do real damage. So we propose a multi-layered approach using biometrics and artificial intelligence as the first line of defense, and a technology known as blockchain as our fail-safe. So let's start with biometrics. Biometrics is the science of identifying or verifying a person's information based on physiological or behavioral characteristics, things such as fingerprinting, eye scanning, facial recognition, and things of that nature. With the biometric system in place, you're able to see exactly who is doing what and where in a health system. So say Frank logs onto his computer using a fingerprint scan, and that's all well and good, he does his normal routine, but why is Frank on Debbie's computer? Why is he on Sarah's computer? This is an example of suspicious activity or a potential breach in security. With biometrics, you're able to pinpoint exactly who is responsible for the breach, and identification is the first step in preventing an attack. Now, there's already software in place that helps you identify some of the suspicious activity, but the problem is it's not being identified quickly enough to do something about it, and that's where artificial intelligence comes in.
So while biometrics would be a great first step, self-learning AI would be the next step in stopping ransomware attacks. Self-learning AI is artificial intelligence that gains knowledge from itself over time without the need for hard coding. So to put this in simpler terms, imagine someone making a soup. And as they finished stitching the soup, they noticed a small problem. So they went, found that problem, fixed it, and then made another soup and continued that process. Now instead, imagine a machine that was constantly scanning a soup, looking for small problems, trying to make this perfect soup. First of all, it would be faster than a human eye could ever find those problems. And also, it could find problems that the human eye never could. So imagine this in healthcare. Self-learning AI continuously scanning over a data set, looking for any suspicious activity. The hope would be that it could find suspicious activity before the bad actors could hold the data for ransom. But this would only be the first couple steps in stopping the problem. We know it's impossible to completely keep bad actors out of data, so that is where blockchain comes in.
Now, blockchain is a database system that prevents ransomware attacks, that can prevent ransomware attacks by making it virtually impossible to remove files from the system. Now, how many of y'all have heard of Bitcoin? Now, the irony of the matter is that Bitcoin is a system that many ransomers use to receive compensation for their database breaches. And it uses this technology called blockchain. Now, give or take, a Bitcoin right now is worth about $30,000. Imagine being able to delete or remove $30,000 from your computer. You wouldn't trust a system where that would happen, right? That is why Bitcoin uses a blockchain database, which makes it hard, very, very hard, to remove a file or system or information from that database. We can use this to fight fire with fire. By using our backup systems, using a blockchain database, we can make it virtually impossible to remove these files from the system. And by layering that with encryption, we can also make it hard for ransomers to read and secure the data. And by doing this, they're unable to ransom the data because they're not able to remove it or corrupt it or read it and sell it.
In closing, today we presented to you 3 solutions to help defend healthcare systems against cyber attacks. The first was biometrics, which was used to identify a threat. The second was artificial intelligence, which quickly finds suspicious activity to prevent future attacks. And third was blockchain, ensuring that since data cannot be deleted, the host will always have access to it. To bring things full circle, Anthem ransomware attack cost them roughly $115 million, in addition to the $260 million that they invested in cybersecurity after the attack. Although, if more effective systems were in place, that could have saved them hundreds of millions of dollars. So if you do not take anything from our presentation today, please take with you that your personal and private information is valuable, whether it is inside or outside of the 4 walls of a hospital.